let me know if you can. Okay, so hi everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you all. Thank you so much for inviting me. So can you confirm me if you can see my screen right now?
Oh yeah, conquering the
Yeah.
negative mindset.
Yes. Okay, that's perfect. And you can hear me well, I guess.
Perfectly.
Perfect. All right. Okay, thank you so much for coming. So we'll be talking today about the negative communication and how we can overcome that. It's applicable for everyone individually, and it's applicable also in a team setting. So overcoming a negative mindset is a journey. And it's a journey that requires a lot of self-reflection, compassion, and perseverance. It starts always with recognizing our own biases and taking responsibilities about our thoughts and actions. So shifting our perspective towards the positivity and embracing this empathy allows us to build stronger connections, stronger relationships, and have a true happiness. So conquering this negative mindset can be also a challenging task, and that's why you're here today. I know this because I struggled myself with negativity in the past, and I struggled a lot. And I remember that it was looking like as this was like my default setting, like default setting of judgment, default setting of criticizing others. And I remember also whenever I was meeting someone new in the past, my first instinct was really to analyze them. I don't know if it happens to you, but like I have the feeling that I am analyzing the people and people were analyzing me. And this is where the biases come in place. And I remember that this affected my it affected my connections, it affected my relationships, and it created somehow like a toxic environment. So I realized that constantly judging others cannot be fair, cannot be productive. And then it prevented me really from getting to know the people and appreciating their unique qualities. So this negative mindset basically was really for me mentally exhausting. It affected me personally, it affected my self-esteem, and it definitely didn't help me to create those meaningful connections with people. So that's why it's like very, very important to be aware about that negative communication, and then to be aware that this is by default a setting in our brains. So we have something that we can do. There's always something that we can do, and we need to work on that. So otherwise, it affects our ability to make the right decisions, and it can limit your options or the options of the teams you're leading, facilitating, depending on what is your role. So that's the whole idea. I am thinking about the challenges is like not being stressful and learning to think positively in challenging situations. This is what we are going to do now. So when you think in a positive way, this will help you to make those opportunities, those challenges, you change them into opportunities. Okay. So that's my little introduction, and I'll present myself a little bit later, Mark, so it's coming. So I would like to ask you to be actively listening. I know it's lunchtime. I know it can be challenging for some people, especially if you were in meetings the whole morning. I don't know what time is right now for you. For me, it's lunchtime. My webinars and my meetups require like active participation. So be aware that I will be asking a lot of questions because I am a curious person, and I truly believe that we can learn from each other. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask them. If we see that we have too many questions, we'll just keep them for the end. So we'll adjust. I think we have 46 people right now. And we will be going also into breakout rooms a little bit later. So those will be breakout rooms in groups of 5 people. If, however, you don't feel comfortable, let's say, being in a breakout room, you can come back to the main room, and then you can basically join the board that I prepared for you, and you can do the exercise individually. Okay, so definitely we prefer for you to taste the exercise in a group setting, because we believe in the power of the collaboration. So if you can do that, please do it. If you cannot, it's okay as well, okay? Is that okay for everyone? You can put your comments in the chat if you have any comments, okay? All right, so that's the agenda. So we'll be talking about the negativity bias that affects our communication. We'll do like a simple quiz with few examples. It will be interactive. I'll be asking you a few questions, and this will bring a better awareness about the impact of the negative communication that you might have in your team setting or personally whenever you're meeting people. So we'll learn how to recognize negative thinking. We'll talk about the science of new habits. I will explain you why learning about new habits is important, and then we'll go to the mindbus technique. Is that okay with everyone? Yeah? Perfect. All right. So what you are going to learn today, so it's a 2-step approach for diffusing negative communication. First step, always be aware, so self-awareness about the negative communication, in which situations this might happen. And then we'll learn like a few simple techniques that will help you to diffuse those negative thoughts and the negative communication. So as I said, it's applicable for you if you're doing the exercise personally. In that case, it's about negative thoughts. If you're doing this in a team setting, so in that case, it will be more about negative communication. And it's all about breaking bad habits, because those are some habits we all have. All right, so Mark, that's my presentation. Finally.
All right, let's find out about you.
Yeah, so a few words. You can see everything I have right now under the plate, like the affiliations I have, and basically I'm Agile coach, a Scrum master, so team coach as well. And I'm professional coach, so I have different certifications into the Agile space, different certifications into neuroscience, positive psychology. I've been working also with Forbes, so you can check online. I'm very inspired by the future of leadership and the coaching. So those are topics I like a lot. And that's it. I don't want to talk more about me. So you will have access about the to the slides, and you can go and check my LinkedIn page. And I think that's enough for now. So you can always connect with me on LinkedIn, and we can have a chat. So, all right, so we'll do a very quick icebreaker. Thank you, Naresh. So we'll do a very quick icebreaker because I'm very passionate about books. So I would like to know what are your favorite books, and I will share a link for you. So this is the team bookshelf icebreaker. I don't know if any of you knows it, but it's like kind of popular, I think. It's nothing new. So you can join the page, the mural board. Feel free to add your favorite books, and you can keep doing that if you want during the whole presentation. So you can add maybe a text or an image, it's up to you. And we'll be using Mural later today for the second exercise we are doing. So feel free to add your favorite book, and then I will ask maybe one or two people, if you're so kind and okay, to share with us what is your favorite book. Basically, what do you recommend us reading? So don't hesitate to unmute yourself and speak. Okay, and you can also post this in the chat, so everything works. So I can see people joining the board. That's great. So you can basically go to Google, maybe Google your favorite books, take the image, post it here, everything works. Or you can simply add a text with your favorite book. And I really like this exercise because I'm discovering new books for reading. I have a really big shelf. I'm actually missing place on my shelf. Oh, don't remove the shelf. Keep the bookshelf. I'm very curious to see what would be the book collection this time. All right, so do we have a volunteer who can share his or her favorite book, and why do you suggest us to read the book? Not everyone at the same time, please. Come on, one person.
I've added a book called Red Teaming, and that is about critical thinking. And I think as Scrum Masters and generally people who live their lives, I think training your critical thinking is very important. And I found that book quite amazing. So I would definitely recommend everyone to read it.
This is great. Thank you, Magda. Do we have someone else? Yes, Naresh, please.
Yeah, so for me, Dr. Robert Cialdini's book of Influence and Persuasion. So that is one of the, like a book for all your life. You can keep reading, and it helps you to improve your relationships, let it be business or even personal. So I would recommend that for everybody. It's like a life. It's a life coaching book. So that's from my side.
Thank you, Naresh. All right. Do we have anyone else?
I would say, the one book that one of my most favorite books, which is called The Life of Pi. The reason I love this book because it relates to my personal journey of my life since I was a childhood. And this book actually has inspired me how to be able to struggle and still overcome with your life. So I thought this book was amazing. It was written by a Canadian writer called The Life of Pi. I'm sure everybody has probably seen the movie based on that book. I thought this book was very inspiring for me.
Thank you so much for your answer. So anyone else, if you want to share in the chat, feel free to add your suggestions in the chat. Otherwise, this board is accessible to everyone. So we'll move on. And thank you for your participation. Okay. All right. So unfortunately, we'll talk a little bit about negativity and negative communication. So I would like to know, how do you define the negativity bias? What do you think is the negativity bias? And you can write in the chat your answer, or you can just unmute yourself and tell us what do you think about it. So what is the negativity bias. So I can see Mark Murphy's law. Okay. The tendency to see the glass half empty. All right. Cynicism, Peter. Thank you. Negativity bias, always expecting the worst. That's Roger. Thank you. Assuming bad intent from others. Assuming worst intent. All right. So a lot of great answers here. So let's see the formal definition. Naresh, do you have a comment?
Yeah, it's about seeing always the pessimistic side of the story.
Okay. Yeah, so everyone has a bit of like the real definition. So that's the definition I chose to add on the slide. Negativity bias refers to our ability to attend to, learn from, and use negative information far more than the positive information. What this means is that if we receive a lot of information, we will rely more on the negative information. So that's the bias. That means that in a lot of situations, we will be influenced more by the negative information. So negativity can also cause us to focus only on the bad things. If you have a situation, let's say, if I ask you, how was your day yesterday? A lot of people will tell me what went bad or what were the problems they have. So that's the whole idea. So the whole idea is to shift the focus of your brain, because the default setting is unfortunately like the negative one, okay? And this is what we're going to learn with this mindbus technique.
So I had one question, like, is
Yes?
it because of the, the survival instinct and the fact that we have the primal instinct to always keep on defending ourselves and saving ourselves? That's why the negativity bias is more in people.
Yeah, so survival instinct, definitely there's a relationship to that because we want to feel safe. That's the whole idea. We want to feel safe, and our brains will take all the shortcuts so to make that possible. And that's why habits exist. We'll talk about habits a little bit. That's why habits exist, because most of the time, 80% of the time, we are on automatic mode. So we rely on our habits, good or bad, we rely on them. And we think that we're making those conscious decisions all the time. And that's not the case. So those are like the shortcuts the brain is taking because there is so much to process, basically. It's like, the computer, everything is binary, yes or, 1 or 0. There's no multitasking. Brain is the same. We think we're multitasking, we're just slowing the brain. Okay. So that's a quiz that we're going to play a game right now to bring more awareness about the impact of negative communication. Okay. So for every question, feel free to add your answer on the chat or just unmute yourself. It's up to you. Okay. So why do you think when asked a question, some people are responding quickly to sound smart? I don't know if it happened to you. It happens to me in meetings. Very often someone will try to answer. So why do you think when asked a question, those people do that? So it's related to what?
Sound like they already have the answer.
Say that again, please.
They sound like they already have the answer.
Yeah, so what is causing them to do that?
They want to create an impression like that they are really smart among everybody.
Yes. Why?
Because they
think
want to
it's-
sound prepared, like that they've
Yes.
already thought about the situation. So, you think ahead, so you're ready for every situation and every question.
I think
Yes.
it's all about low self-esteem. People who try to always prove themselves is because they're lacking something in there. They like to prove themselves. They're always searching for an approval. The greatest leaders, they don't talk, they listen more, and then they will answer at the end of the day. So I think this is all definition of mindset. Some people has a low self-esteem. They like to always search for an approval, and that's why they try to answer quickly.
Okay. Thank you so much for all the answers. So my answer is short. It doesn't mean that it's the only answer. Ego. I don't know if you know the ego, but the ego is the way we identify ourselves. Sometimes we identify ourselves with our knowledge. Sometimes we think we know most of among the people around us. And then the ego likes to compete. There are some things that are very important for the ego. So it likes to compete and it likes to show that, I'm the best, right? So maybe I have the nicest car. This is part of my identity, part of who I am. So that's my ego. So I will argue a lot with other people who have nice cars. So what I didn't explain is why it's important to notice that, because it's part of the negative communication that can impact you or your teams to function at your best. So it's nice to notice those things. What's the impact on people when someone is constantly interrupting? So you talk to someone, you have a discussion, it can be a team, someone is always interrupting. So they feel diminished, okay? They're not listening, yeah. You don't want to talk anymore, absolutely. Yes, that happens to me, honestly. Very often I got demotivated. It shut others down, yes. Especially like in your teams, if you notice someone who is constantly interrupting. So interrupting others does not allow them to finish their thought. Like the other person who was speaking, we interrupt him, so they cannot finish their thoughts, and this can make them feel unheard or ignored. That's the worst. Okay, so the other one, what's the impact on you when someone is speaking too fast without making pauses?
You're not able to concentrate and focus on what they're saying. So you're not able to actually listen. Active listening is not happening.
Yeah, too much happening out there. Okay, all right. So speaking too fast and not pausing to give listeners the opportunity to digest what was said or ask questions. So we need some time to digest the information and we don't have it. That's what's happening. So communication finally will be impacted. So that's example of negative communication as well. And the last one, and then we move on. What's the impact on you when someone is assuming he or she understands you? I don't know if it happens to you, but it happens to me a lot. People tell me, oh, Kalina, you should do that. Or that's not right, that's not correct. Or, I know what's best. Things like that. I know you very well. This is best for you. So taking away your voice, yeah, definitely. So what's happening is that there will be, limited options, not willing to listen and understand, absolutely. So the moment you feel not heard, or the moment you feel someone else is trying to impose you something and they assume that they understand you. So this is basically like a thinking error. This is how we call that in psychology. And this thinking error can lead to misalignment of the communication channels. Communication channels is related to the way you communicate with people. For example, I can use verbal communication, or I can be more kinesthetic. So those are the different communication channels. So it basically blocks the channels. So that's what's happening. And this one, I'll give you the answer because I want to make sure we have time for an exercise. So what does it mean when someone uses the word should? It's basically the same because they bring the personal experience into the conversation. So they think they know best what is best for you. And it's actually not the case. You are the person who knows best the options, and you need to listen to your inner voice, basically. All right, so the whole idea is that if you want to conquer this negative mindset, that is kind of like a default setting for most people, not for everyone. So learn a new habit, okay? So how does it work? Learning a new habit. So we have the science of habits and what we call habits loop. So there's always a cue, a reason for the habit to happen. Then there's a routine. So those are the actions or the behavior you're doing. And then there's a reward. We do everything because there's some kind of reward. That's how it works. So when, for example, someone has a negative communication, they do it because they know there will be some kind of reaction. And that's why they do it. That's the reward. Maybe they don't realize that, so we'll not be judging people, but actually this is what's happening. So your brain will have some kind of satisfaction, right? So we want to change that. How do we change that? It's by learning new habits. And those new habits will be recording in the basal ganglia in your brain. So this organ basically is responsible for all the routines, for all the repetitive behaviors, for all the repetitive thoughts and all the new habits. Okay, so it's very, very essential and important what we are learning today. And we will take only 1 or 2 minutes to watch this video, and then we go immediately into the exercise because I want to make sure you have time. All right, so please take like 1-2 minutes to watch this video that will illustrate the concept of the mind bus. Let me know if you can hear it.
I'm Tom. This is the story of my bus of life. On the journey, I pick up lots of passengers, memories, thoughts, emotions, some pleasant, some not so pleasant. Sometimes handling them can be tricky.
I knew you'd come this way again. Same old, same old.
You're pathetic.
What a grumpy lot. Don't worry, driver, I can sort them out.
Don't even think about going down there.
That way will never work out.
Where's that bus going? It looks exciting.
What do you think you're doing? You think you have what it takes? You'll just fail like last time. Dream on.
What's the point? It's too much work. Why take the risk?
Haha, it's not like it's your choice. This is my bus.
Okay, I'll turn around. Just be quiet.
Listen, let's make a secret deal. You keep doing what you're doing and I'll keep the passengers quiet for you.
Okay then, back to the same old road. Just so you know, I'm not happy about this. I like driving buses, but what I'd really love to do is be a race driver.
Loser, what do you think you're doing?
Better stick to what you know or the deal is off.
loser. Stick to driving buses.
Right, that's it. This is my bus. Get off.
Yeah, fight me. Let's see where that gets you. You pathetic excuse for a driver.
Your bus ain't going anywhere now. I don't know why you bother driving.
Hey, what's going on in that bus? Things seem to be happening differently.
You're not allowed to go that way. We've got rules.
Thanks for the feedback, guys, but this is my bus.
Maybe I don't need to get rid of this bunch. They could just come with me for the ride.
Whatever, you're still a loser.
I don't know about this.
No, what about the deal?
Racetrack, that's where I want to go.
Okay, all right. So before going into the exercise, what are your comments? Any questions on this? Do you find this relevant to the topic? So I would like to hear from you. Yes, Mark, I can see your face. That's good. Anyone else who want to say something? Don't hesitate. Naresh, please.
Just
Yeah, it's all about limiting factors. I mean, what has been limiting you in the past? So that grows until unless you try to see what is the concern, what is the real behavior that is stopping you, and then solving it. So wherever attention goes, focus goes. So we need to remove our attention from those things.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we have control on everything, right? And we have control on the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate. All right.
Yeah, I
so,
mean,
yes.
yeah, just like if you look at the corporate behavior, it starts from the values, goes to the attitudes, goes to the belief system, and then the behaviors. So that's how it grows. So when you'll have to go step by step to solve this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Naresh. So we'll jump into the exercise. We'll do that for 10 minutes in groups of 5. Again, if you want to do that individually, just drop off from the group and come back to the main room. For those who want to do this individually, we have a section here, which is related to, 1 second, so it's on this part of the board. Okay, where is my thing? Yeah, it's here. So on the right, you have the individual boards, and on the left, it's the group board. Okay, so this is the individual on the right, and on the left, it is the group board. So how does it work? We do this in groups of 5 or individually, preferably in groups of 5. So those are the rules. You have the rules on the left. So you have few steps, so 6 steps. Maybe for the 10 minutes, you will not be able to go through all of the steps, but we'll debrief. Maybe a few of you can still do it. And we'll debrief about the idea and what is expected to happen at the end. So I would like to ask you to choose one person from the group who will be speaking for everyone in the group. And we'll pick up maybe 1 or 2 groups to debrief. So first thing is you need to agree in the group on a situation to tackle with your group. So it can be a team situation, it can be any other situation. So you basically need to agree on what is the problem you want to solve. So maybe it is like you're trying to teach your team a new agile practice, and not everyone agrees about it, maybe story points or something else. And it can be also your team has a challenge to solve, and everyone has a different opinion about it. So the whole idea is you agree on the situation, you write down here the situation, or you can just remember that. Then what is your team saying about this topic? So number 2, you just take a note what the team might be saying. We need to have some resistance out there. So that's the whole point, some negative communication. Then you will visualize your mind bus. So you will just position the items around the bus. And then you write down your reaction to the negative comments. So this is 4. So those are the comments, this is the reaction. And then you just picture like that, those negative comments, you're letting them down. You are the facilitator for the meeting. So you will not let passengers with negative communication to be impacted, to impact the whole team. And then you can basically picture new positive characters taking those abandoned seats from the bus. So what would that be? All right, so just go through the flow. We'll start the rooms. Mark, do you have any questions, everyone?
So I've got the rooms ready.
Yeah.
So each person will be assigned to a room. And then like, let's just say you go into room 3. How will the room 3 know? Just go to the third section down. Is that what it is?
Yeah, so room 3, basically every room, you just come here, you put your group name or you put your name, it doesn't matter. And that's how people will know that this part of the board is already taken. So you come here, all right, and you put something. And that's how we know it's already taken, okay?
All right.
Perfect, let's do it.
All right. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I've set this up right. It's always an adventure.
Yeah, the link to the board. Wait, Mark, they don't have the link. Wait. Did you start it? Copy.
I'll just close the rooms real quick.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. Now they're going to close in a minute. Oh. All right.
Yeah, I think I could have posted this, broadcasted this. It's okay. Did you close it?
Yeah, so now we've got a countdown timer for 40 more seconds. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay.
So it looks like it's keeping the room. So hopefully everybody will
is it keeping?
Stay
so we
in
have
the same
7
room. Yes.
Did you restart it then? What happened?
10 seconds.
They're closing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about this. I just forgot to paste the link.
I was too quick on the trigger.
Yeah. So Mark, when it's 1 o'clock, if you wanna drop off, it's fine.
Okay. You want to set it for 9 minutes, maybe?
9, yes. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So you want to post that link one more time?
This.
So something happened that we couldn't find any files. I don't know what's going on.
You're going back because you didn't get the link, and
because we love you.
Yeah, sorry about this. So you have 9 minutes, maybe not enough, but let's see.
How do you get the file?
Yeah, you have the link to the mural board here.
Yep. So we just posted the link to the mural board. So everybody grab that. And then we're going to go off to the room. So you should go off into the same rooms, hopefully.
They are still there.
All right. Here we go.
Hey, Canada to tomorrow.
So, hi everyone. I know that you have not completed the exercise. Probably you didn't have enough time. So it was a little bit ambitious, maybe in terms of time, to put this for like 10 minutes. So I just want us to talk about it. Maybe you had some good discussions in your rooms. And I just want to hear from that, maybe a few comments. And do you find this important, interesting, applicable, the whole concept of what you learned today for your basically work or your daily practice? So I want to hear from all of you, how can this be helpful to you?
I think one is we face situations where we are not prepared. So there's more of unexpected, situations where you don't know how to handle it. So that could be one of the problem with the Scrum Master or the leader, etc. The other thing is everybody trying to get to the goal, or are they trying to just put more roadblocks and trying to make the project go haywire? So that would require first a discussion on what is the expectation of each person. Why are they into this project? So I think before you start a project, you'll have to discuss that, are you really on board? Do you want to be there? What is your concept of coming for this project? Once that is the whys are clear, why are we here, and then you move to the next step of completing the task. Because if everybody is just going helter-skelter and trying to say, my idea is the best, I wanted to do this, then it's not going to work out.
All right. Thank you, Naresh. So being aware about this negative communication that might be happening, that's important. And then knowing how to tackle it, how to answer if those situations arrive, that's important, especially if you're facilitating meetings. So those tools can help you center yourself and your teams. Magda, thank you, Naresh.
I will agree with Naresh, and I think he said it very well, but it is about like having this awareness, almost at all times, or kind of catching yourself having those either negative thoughts or catching others having those thoughts, and kind of change the language around it, and like accept that people might feel a certain way, but try to put it, like put it in a different environment and help them feel differently about that.
Absolutely. Yes, Magda. So the way we speak, this is part of our conscious communication, and the way we behave is part of our unconscious communication. So we're actually not aware how we behave most of the time or how our body reacts. So that's why it's important to synchronize those two, because the way we speak is an expression of what is happening inside us. That's really great. Thank you. Milky?
I mean, I'm just going to talk about human point of views, the mindset here, because it looks like I'm just going to talk about the scenario of the bus. It's like a zero communication there because, first of all, a bunch of psychos went into the bus. So that's a different story. So the bus driver is the leading. So he's just leading the bus. So he just has a one-track mind the way he wants to go in. And the back end of the psychos in the back, they don't know what the hell is going on. They're mad. And there's another big problem to the lady with the communicator between the two parties. She's had her one-track mind too. So she's not communicating any parties properly. She's going this direction, that direction, and the bus driver had his own track mind. So this is a mess. So I mean, if it is considered as a project, it's not going anywhere. They're going to end up with killing each other.
Yeah. So the bus is basically your mind, right?
Yeah.
So that's happening inside,
yeah.
Right? So we have control on what is happening inside. That's the whole idea. Thank you, Milky. So anyone else, do you have any comments? This will be the last comment because we are already like 6 minutes after 1 o'clock, and I know you're busy. So Naresh?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring out the perspective of awareness. What happens is, as we read theoretically, there are 5 levels of awareness. So first is that you're unaware. You don't know what's really happening in the external environment. The second level of awareness is delayed. So there is a delay with respect to understanding. Then the third is the perceptive, where you're able to perceive things that, okay, this is what is really happening, but you're still not decided. Next is resilient, where your actions start coming to handle the situation. And finally is adaptive. So adaptive is double awareness. You know what's happening and you know what to do. So these are the 5 levels of awareness. I believe that needs to come about. If you're at level 5 for most of the moments in your life in terms of your work, you can take corrective action faster.
Thank you for bringing like a method to think about it, Naresh. So this is great. I think we're about to close this. So can you just give me from 1 to 5 your satisfaction from our time today? So 5 is like I'm very satisfied. 1 is I'm not satisfied at all. So you can write down in the chat as well. So next time it will be maybe 1 hour and a half. We'll give it more time for the exercise. And that's it. I can see a lot of 5s and sometimes 5+. This is great. Thank you for needed more time. Absolutely. Yeah. Not enough time for the breakout rooms. Thank you. So if you guys want to do that, we can maybe bring back the topic again and just do the exercise. So that can be something we can potentially do. All right, Mark, is there anything else that you want to mention for closing?
That's it. Just to the 18 people that stuck around, thanks a lot. Appreciate
Thank
you
you
sticking
so
around to the
much.
end. And Kalina, thank you so much. This was great. Everybody have a
Namaste.
great weekend. Okay. We'll see
Bye,
you next time.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Happy Canada's Day.